And that's where this story ends. There is another, perhaps more popular rendition of Orion's death. Upon the restoration of his sight, he felt new motions quickening within himself. He boasted aloud, addressing Artemis, that he was the greatest of hunters, and proclaimed that he could kill any beast on earth. The earth shuddered with indignation, and the ground shook. A giant scorpion emerged and stung the giant Orion to death. During the course of their battle, however, Orion inflicted mortal wounds, and both he and the scorpion were placed in the stars, on opposite sides of the sky. You can see how the moral of the story changes, depending on who you believe about Orion's death. One is a story about Orion's innocence and Artemis's jealousy. That's Horn's version, and it ends in a tragic and destructive murder. The other is a story about Orion's audaciousness and that famous Greek hubris that causes an ugly fall from prominence. And these are both different messages than the one in the excerpt from Bulfinch's mythology that we quoted earlier, where Apollo challenges his sister, Artemis, to hit the floating black object on the water with her arrow. In that account, I noticed the protectiveness and violence of the relationship that exists between brother and sister, and I wonder to what degree the brother-sister relationships of the ancient Greeks, and even our brother-sister relationships, were represented or created by the mythological treatment of Artemis and Apollo. I feel compelled to mention two more interesting tidbits here about the constellation of Orion. The bright red star that marks Orion's right shoulder is an odd name that still has made its way into general knowledge. Its name is Betelgeuse, which derives from the Arabic Yad al-Jawza, which means hand of the central one. For the Arabs, the stars that make up Orion and Gemini, the twins, together created one large constellation that represented a female figure. It's very difficult to find stories that explain her presence in the skies fully. Secondly, below Orion's belt lies a string of what appear to be 3 faint to moderately bright stars that hang down from his belt. Not surprisingly, these are visualized as his sword. If you have good conditions, you should perceive the middle of the 3 sword stars to be a hazy patch instead of a point. This is the well-known Orion Nebula, and the purchase of binoculars or a telescope could be well justified on the merits of observing this celestial object alone. It is truly that impressive.
Can you believe